Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. Today I'm going to talk about who has the power. And it was actually my wife that brought up this subject to me. She pointed this out to me. But the average age of Trump's cabinet is 54. That means that almost all of them are Gen X. Yeah. And I think that's pretty awesome because I've mentioned before in past videos that we've never really had power. We've never really had control of the country before. It's always been boomers and older, and we've just never really had the chance, Gen X. And I've always believed if they got some real good common sense Gen Xers up there, then some real good changes would take place for America and Americans. And so now that's happened. And if you think about it, each cabinet member is in complete and total charge of their specific area, right? Kash Patel with the FBI, and it'll be RFK, though he's not Gen X. He's one of the few that is not Gen X. RFK is completely in charge of the health department and all that. And Trump does not micromanage that stuff because I've seen them do stuff. I forget what the last one was, but then they'll just do stuff and then Trump will support it after it's already done. He'll support it. Say, sounds good to me, whatever. So it's not like he micromanages and they've got to run to him, to get permission to do anything. They're just running their area. And that means in a very large way that Gen X is in control of this country right now. And all these people, these crooked, slimy, thieving, corrupt politicians and bureaucrats and whoever else, okay, that have been around for the last 5-6 decades up there are about to find out. Yeah. And that's what Gen X is about. That's what we do, and they're about to find out. Now it's not, I mean, I'm just going to be honest and blunt. I think those traitors who have sold us down the river, sold our jobs, sent our jobs overseas, sold us out with all this corruption and shit, they deserve hemp necklaces. And that's just my opinion. Hopefully some of them will get some prison time. I really do. I really hope that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and their ilk, who've been just infesting our government for the last 50, 60 years, whatever it is. Yeah, they need to be drug out of there, thrown in prison at the very least. I mean, at the very least, they deserve prison time. But I sincerely mean that. That is the least, the minimum that they deserve. I would like to see more higher sentencing, but it would do me good to know that the people who have been selling our country overseas and enriching themselves off of our sweat for the last, and blood for the last, my entire life, it would just be so awesome to know that they were going to spend what little time their ancient dinosaur asses have on this planet, that they were going to spend that time in a cell and die in prison. That would make me happy. Yeah, I could. Yeah, that would sincerely make me happy. And Kash Patel, I believe, is going to go after these people. I already know that Pam Bondi, she's Gen X too. She's just she's a Wolverine. She's a damn honey badger. She's ripping through there already, and telling Kash Patel who to go chase down and shit and drag back into court for to prosecute. So yeah, they're after them. This is going to be a fun 4 years to watch Gen X go in there with a damn blowtorch and a jackhammer and just rip that shit apart. It's going to be fun to watch, I'm telling you. And I guess on February 28th, the liberals, the left, I've been seeing them trying to rile up their base with, on February 28th, they were going to not spend any money. They were going to boycott the, Walmart and Amazon and all that, whatever. And okay, I in a way, I can kind of get behind a group of people doing something like that to exert their will, to put pressure on these big companies to do, you know what I mean? But the way they're doing this is just stupid. I mean, it is. It's just stupid. They're just going to boycott all, they're not going to spend any money at all, or they were. It was the 28th, so it happened a couple days ago. They weren't going to spend any money at all on the 28th. They weren't going to go out to eat. They weren't going to order anything from Amazon. They weren't going to go to Walmart or order anything from Walmart or anything. They're just not going to spend any money for 24 hours. I don't even know how else to say it. That's just stupid. To boycott everything for 24 hours is completely meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. It's just dumb. It is. What are you going to accomplish? I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure that Walmart and Amazon survived it. I don't think our economy crashed. I don't think that they had any impact at all anywhere. They didn't do anything. They probably, and I saw one of the posts, one of their leftist political leaders made a post, and they were telling them to stock up the couple days before, you know what I mean? So they didn't have to go out on the 28th and buy anything. So literally they told them to spend the same amount of money, just do it before that day. So you're not actually going to penalize Walmart or Amazon. You're just going to spend the money the day before, so you still have your Oreos and your soda and stuff on the 28th. You just bought it on the 27th. I mean, the stupidity is really I'm surprised that how much that they can still surprise me with their stupidity, with their willful ignorance. Yeah, they just keep following these morons blindly, telling them to do moronic shit. And they're just boycotting this stuff. They're doing this boycott just because, we elected Trump. They boycotted because Trump is doing our will. Everything Trump has done is what I voted for him to do. He's ending the war in Ukraine. He stopped sending money to Ukraine. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted him to do. He shut down the border and started deporting people. That's exactly what I wanted him to do. He stopped trans people screwing around in the military and stopped trans people from competing in women's sports. That's exactly what I wanted him to do. Everything that I voted for, he is doing. So he is literally doing our will, and they are mad about it because the vast majority of the population does not agree with them on these subjects, and they voted in someone who will enact their will and get America back on track. And that's a direct correlation to what Trump has said in the past. They're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way. And that is so true. Because we're the ones whose will is being done. It is our will that is being enacted out through the Trump administration. And that's what they're mad about. If Trump would was a leftist and wanted to do the will of the deep state, then they would love him. They would raise him up to be, he could have the same personality, the same, everything else could be the same. And he would be a national hero in their eyes if he did the will of the deep state with all of the rainbow flags and the child mutilation and the wars. And so all this stuff is happening, and hopefully Pam Bondi and Kash Patel will root out these people, do investigations, and lock up everyone that they can lock up that is guilty of a crime. I don't want them out there locking up innocents just because, they're Democrats or whatever. I don't want that shit. But these traitorous scumbags who have committed treason against our country and stolen from us and used their political insight to make money in the stock market and all this shit, they deserve to go to prison at the very least. And to deflect all this that's happening, to deflect all the stuff that Doge is uncovering and Kash Patel is uncovering, they do these political stunts with these boycotts and shit. There is literally no effect at all from this boycott. Zero. It's just a political stunt. It's just a signal, an attention grabbing thing. Oh, we're going to boycott. We're going to boycott. If you're all wrapped up in your boycott and that's what you're telling your friends about and you're talking about this boycott, then you're not paying attention to what's really happening, because you're about to boycott. They boycotted, and literally the screen didn't even flicker on the economy or Amazon or Walmart stock prices. Nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. It was a meaningless gesture to try to try to distract people. That's it. And I don't even think they did a very good job at that, at distracting people, because the people who needed to be distracted aren't. I wasn't boycotting anything, you know what I mean? The people they need to distract are paying attention. Their sheep are probably going to just die that way. They're just going to grow old and die that way. They're going to vote Democrat until the day they die. They wouldn't even consider another option if they changed the word. Everything else stayed the same. They just changed it from Republican to Liberty people. Any other word besides Democrat, they would throw a fit and quit voting, because they vote Democrat. They don't care what is behind that word, the actual substance behind that word and what's going on. They are Democrats. They vote Democrat. And so if you change that word Democrat, then they can't. No. I wish they would, just to show everybody what complete morons they are and how shallow that is. And I wish they would do that and watch the meltdown they would have if they changed that word Democrat, the name of that party, from Democrat to something else. Now, unless it was, still, a lot of them would have a meltdown, but unless they changed it to some kind of virtue signaling thing like trans something, right? Put a rainbow sticker and changed it to, now a lot of them would go along with that, but still there would be a bunch of them who just wouldn't vote anymore because of the name Democrat. But you could manipulate them with virtue signaling to vote with some weird ideological thing. If you changed it to trans something, they'd probably still vote for it. But the Gen X wrecking crew is is in the White House. They're on Capitol Hill. They are already. They're going through there and breaking skulls and dragging people off. And I want to see it. I want to see it really, really, really ramp up. And I believe it's going to, because, they're just getting in there. They got to get their feet wet and look around and figure stuff out and, do some investigations and get some concrete evidence and stuff, before they start making arrests. So I really didn't expect them to, start making arrests on day one. They've got to build cases and this kind of stuff, right? They can't just go in there and start arresting people and end up with a bunch of innocent people on trial. That would be disastrous. And just, get a feel for the place. You don't just walk into a new job and just start banging shit around, you know what I mean? You got to get a feel for the place and find out how things work, and then you can get into your stride. So that's what's happening now. They're getting a feel for the place. They're finding things out. They're learning things. They're ordering investigations. And I think over the next couple of years that we're really we'll see some stuff come to light that was meant to be hidden. And we're going to see some arrests and some stuff come out during depositions and hearings and court prosecutions that'll surprise a lot of people. And hopefully we'll see a lot of convictions and very, very, very long sentences. I don't care if Nancy Pelosi's 98, give her 385 years. I don't care. Just to set an example, to make a deterrent for those slimy, corrupt bastards in the future. I'd love to see that. Let me know what you think about Gen X having control of the country for the first time ever. Let me know. What are your feelings on the subject? What do you think's going to happen in the future? And another thing about Gen X having control of the country is that if we keep this ball rolling, if we stay vigilant and vote again, then Gen X, our next president is likely to be Gen X. Because that person is probably going to come out of Trump's cabinet, or the next, who's the next up after outside the cabinet is probably our governor here, Ron DeSantis, and he's Gen X. So the next president is probably going to be Gen X unless we drop the ball and allow another Democrat in there. But think about that. A Gen X president and a Gen X cabinet, and we keep this ball rolling into the future, and there is no limit to how great we can make this country before we pass it on to our children and grandchildren. I really got a positive feeling for the near future, and in the politics anyway, in the political arena. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Gen X in charge of the country for the first time ever. What's your opinion on that? How do you see things progressing in the next 4 years and into the distant future? If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. Thank you for those of you who do that. I sincerely appreciate it. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we've got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff. T-shirts, coffee mugs, hoodies, all kinds of cool stuff. But I'll leave that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos in your social media. That helps out an awful lot. Thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments. Or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.